And welcome to another edition of Licorice Pizza. Again, an old term used for vinyl back in the day. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this video, okay? And yeah, tell your friends about it too and pass the word around. What do we got today? Well, let me see. You too. Yes. Oh, really? You too. Yes. We're talking about that band that came out many moons ago. Uh, and first of all, I'm going to start. I'm going to start with my favorite U2 album. Not start, but I'll get into that. What is my favorite album? Okay, first of all, to set that up, the first time I ever heard of U2 was back. I think it was 1983 MTV. Everybody watched music videos back then. That's just at a time when they played music videos a lot. And the song was New Year's Day off the album War. Sunday Bloody Sunday is another great song off that. But the video was U2. Never heard of this band. Never. And it's 1983. They're standing like in this meadow, 2 feet of snow. Four guys. Looks like they were very cold too. And they're playing the song New Year's Day. And I never heard guitar like this before, ever. The Edge, of course, the lead player for U2 is playing this. I say, who is this band? This is different. Love this song. I'm not going to buy the single. I'm buying the whole album, which I did. Okay. On to the next one, Unforgettable Fire Pride in the Name of Love. That was a big hit for them. Their success was gradual. The first album, yeah. Then the second album, oh, more people. Now they're going top 40 a little bit. And let's get to the third, the album after Unforgettable Fire, The Joshua Tree. Oh my goodness. Summer of 1987. And I had to have this album. So I bought it, of course, and listened to it and just listened to it and listened to it. And what am I, the whole, the whole album's great. Now their big hits off that were With or Without You. I still haven't found what I'm looking for, and I do have some questions. I love the album cover, by the way. They were at that location, the Joshua Tree. That's a whole long story about that, but they were there. But that's the album that put them like over the top to superstardom. It really was. And our question is, favorite slice from the album? Where the Streets Have No Name. I gotta say that's my favorite song. If you watch the Super Bowl way back, tribute to 9/11, the song was incredibly moving with the names, and I can't even put it in words. The song with, like that video that they showed during the halftime of the Super Bowl, absolutely amazing. And the next question is, underrated slice from the album. I'm going to say Bullet the Blue Sky. It's the third track off side one, I believe. It doesn't get a lot of airplay, and it's a fantastic song. Maybe I'll go with two songs. In God's Country, another great song from that album. The Joshua Tree. There's others, but those are the two off that album. They went from doing arenas with that album, then at stadiums, and U2 probably didn't even realize back then just how big they would become, and not to jump up several years, but another great album by the U2 is Achtung Baby. If you listen to that came out, I believe, in 1990. And they had a couple of years there they weren't releasing anything. Then that album came out. But the Joshua Tree, yeah, that's it starts out with that haunting beginning where the streets have no names, or name, not names, plural, singular, have no name, and it just goes into that, the Edge, that guitar playing, invented a whole sound. It's all effects. A lot of his playing is just loaded with effects, and it works for that band. Um, Bono, he plays. He plays some guitar with the band, but heavy bass, guitar. Larry Mullins on drums, Adam Clayton bass. But the Joshua Tree, I think, from the first, like the album War comes out, the second album, Unforgettable Fire. Okay, I like both of them, but they became the material on the Joshua Tree. I think is just a cut above. Not that the other ones aren't great, but this album really stole the show. Still haven't found what I'm looking for. Of course, they did that video in Los Angeles, traffic in LA, hello, you know, and they had police out there directing traffic. They're doing that song on the roof of a building. I don't know what it was because of the Beatles concert on the Apple roof, legendary concert they did the last time they ever played. So I think they had that in mind. I don't know for sure, but I know Bono and the band's big Beatles fans, so that might have been. But they filmed it like people, like the cops, police officers directing traffic. They were attracting a crowd, but that video is pretty cool, and that whole album's good from start to finish. And the next album they did was Rattle and Hum, which the cool thing about that album is it's such a cool thing that they did the studio versions live on Rattle and Hum, which is really different. And I went out and bought that on cassette. Remember those? Those things, cassettes, and it would get caught in your machine and you had to fix them. It was a lot of pressure in those days, folks. But yeah, those, again, I'm going to mention my favorite song off the Joshua Tree, Where the Streets Have No Name. Just haunting. That whole, especially the beginning, when you first hear that song, it's like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? You're anticipating what's next. With or Without You, another great heavy bass on that one. And of course, Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, another outstanding song. And underrated slice from the album, Bullet the Blue Sky. Starts out on the drums. Larry Mullen does just an amazing drum part on that song. And that's off the Joshua Tree. Then Rattle and Hum after that, they do the live version where the crowd goes crazy. If you're a U2 fan, you know the songs. If you're not, and you listen to them once in a while, check out Bullet the Blue Sky. For those of you who are on any music service, and you can find it. I'm always looking for the next U2 album. What is it going to be? Because just a great band. And, back around 80, 81, and 1980, they were like broke tour. They were playing like little clubs in Montreal back in 1980. And then you go from 80 to 87, they were no longer doing small clubs, folks. And so there we go. That's the album pick of U2. Now you might have a favorite album. It could be War, Achtung Baby, Zoo. It could be any one of those albums, and that's fine too, because it's all perception. My favorite is the Joshua Tree, but I can't say that is the best one. To me it is. But to you it might be something else, but the Joshua Tree, just fantastic album. So the next time I'm on the radio, I'm going to play the whole album. Side 1 and 2. I don't think that'd go over too well. Only kidding. That is another episode. And again, I want to remind you again to put a like to it, a comment, and subscribe, okay, to this. And leave a comment. I always love the comments about U2, different little tidbits that you know about the band, maybe I can use at a future date. And that is a wrap, and I'll see you soon.